Past few days and weeks have been intense with world events. The terrorist threat is not diminishing. It is spreading globally, and it is morphing into more and more so-called franchises.
Director of National Intelligence James Clapper there, speaking this morning on what is the 10th anniversary of the 9/11 Commission report. He was noting the enduring threat of terror today. Now, there is a new threat assessment there calling for improvements in 3 key areas: congressional oversight of the DHS, transparency for those threats we face, and an improved cybersecurity strategy focused not only on data collection and analysis, but also on protecting our civil liberties. Over the past decade, hundreds of billions has been poured into the intelligence community, in part to improve interagency communication. And one corporation that's playing a significant role nowadays is the online retail giant Amazon. A new article, Daring Deal, how the CIA dismissed the status quo, partnered with Amazon, and challenged the intelligence world, is the cover story in this month's Government Executive magazine. It's part 1 of a 3-part series we're doing this week. And joining us to tell us all about it is Frank Conkle, events editor for Government Executive magazine. Good day.
Hi, how are you?
Doing well. Now, you report here that the cloud, in this article, you say the cloud may actually achieve what thousands of bureaucrats have failed to do, to achieve some kind of faster, real-time, interagency collaboration. What do you mean there?
Well, I think it does go back 10 years. This is a big shift for the intelligence community. They want better information sharing, and this is a big part of it. So how this cloud will work is that it's connected to, it's sort of like hanging off their network behind the intelligence community firewall. Each one of the 17 intelligence agencies can use it for a variety of needs, things like data storage, information analytics, which is a very important thing now given the amount of data that we know the intelligence community collects, and for collaboration between agencies. So in instances where national security is important, where there could be a imminent incident, there's a real-time collaboration tool there, and that's going to be one of the chief uses here.
And yet, Frank, there was a big division over whether or not this going forward with Amazon and with cloud computing in general was the right direction. Tell us what the opposition was saying here.
Well, the IC has a history of doing things their own way. I mean, they do use a lot of commercial off-the-shelf technology, but on this scope, not so much. And so reaching out to a commercial vendor for a technology, cloud computing, which is, you know, it has a reputation of not being as secure. It's still quite new. But that was the big challenge here. And so there was a big debate that went on for a couple of years before they decided this is what we want. The main reasoning being that cost plays a role. You know, a data center on average consumes about 100 times more energy than an office building of the same size.
Wow.
And then innovation. And Amazon killed it here with innovation. They, I think, last year upgraded their system some 200 different times. The CIA and by definition the rest of the IC can then make use of any of those upgrades anytime they have their choice there. So they have that continued drive to innovate, and it's made easy for them. Instead of having to do it internally, guess what? They have a company here that can basically do it for them, and they have the option to use that.
On the flip side of this, though, doesn't this then potentially lead to some real security concerns?
Yeah, that depends on who you ask.
We're asking you.
Yeah, I actually think the CIA was very adamant in talking to a lot of folks that worked there and who previously did. They see this as, in their words, at least as secure or more secure than their own internal data centers. A lot of cloud companies nowadays will make the argument that cloud can be more secure because there's fewer endpoints there for intruders to access. Keep in mind, too, that this is basically like what Amazon does for its private sector clients, companies like Netflix, but only it's behind the intelligence community firewall. So there is a lot of security built in, and again, because this is Amazon, because this is cloud, the analytics are real time. So every user, including system administrators like what Edward Snowden was for the NSA, all of their activity is monitored and monitored in real time. So everything is logged.
Frank, government could have built its own cloud, but they turned to Silicon Valley, not just Amazon, but IBM. Is this an admission on the part of government that some things in the technology sector, especially private sector, can do better than government?
I actually think you're spot on. I think cloud has been slow to adopt in government because of the security concerns that you hear all over the Beltway. But I think this is a great example, and it really became a big deal last year when folks saw that, hey, the CIA, who is one of the most security stringent organizations in the world, reached out to a big private sector player and said, hey, come and build this. And it's had a huge weight here over across the rest of government.
And that, Frank, brings us to the final question, which is, can Amazon build a healthcare.gov website? I don't know. We'll find out next time. Frank Long, thank you so much.
Process now.